Okay. Boy, we had quite the podcast number 76. I got a chance to show everybody some really new inventions, really cool stuff. Startup businesses, obviously, the entrepreneur spirit is certainly alive and, of course, need the types of help that we offer, of course. Frank has a great twin this week on an incredibly interesting housewife who was really upset because she just couldn't get things going for her and her family, and she invented something and went off and built it and built a really cool business. And Frank discovers or shows why people purchase anything, which is really cool because a lot of us forget that. Dick had a great entrepreneurial lesson essentially on networking and how to handle some things. And if you're going to look at home-based businesses, he kind of reviews what he went through, the do's and don'ts, pros and cons. And then finally, in our last D block, we'll get an update from Frank with some add-on copy from Dick about how he uses some stuff that Frank has taught him in his networking event. So without any further ado, let's get into the podcast. I'm Peter Russo for 101 Small Business Mastermind, and again with me, as you can see, we have our cadre of excellent individuals. So say good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Dick.
And say good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Dick.
All right, I'm going to have a longer A block, but I've been showing a lot of drone stuff, and so in my A block, I'm going to actually cover some really cool stuff, and then at the end, some newsworthy stuff for businesses and to see what's going on in the world here. So let me do this. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm looking for this one. And I want to share the sound and optimize the screen. Let me know when you have my screen here. And you guys got this yet?
No, I've got it's on the bottom half of the screen.
Right. There you go. Watch.
Okay.
Yep.
You hear it okay?
Yep.
Look how fast this guy's running. Now imagine a company of infantrymen running like this. It looks like he's about double the human speed with his bionic boot without too much more effort in running. Now what I'm trying to show here is in fact the absolute explosion of entrepreneurs, new businesses, and are all small business, and they all need our help. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Wow. Well, my first thought was Oscar Pistorius, the kid
Exactly.
from South Africa.
Yeah,
Exactly. Now watch this one. The rest are very interesting. Here we go again. Now watch when you watch it, you want to be thinking small business, entrepreneurs, startup. How do they get going? What the heck is that? Look at that, guys.
Wow.
And for Barack Obama, I think it fits a set of clubs on the back.
Yeah.
Now, watch this.
The Hoverbike is the result of years of research and development. We combined the freedom of a helicopter with the simplicity of a motorcycle to create the world's first hoverbike. Developing a hoverbike is expensive and challenging, and we need your support to make this a reality. The hoverbike flies like a helicopter, however it is rugged and easy to use. It represents a whole new way to fly.
Whoops.
We can't see the hoverbike.
There you go.
Created a 1/3 scale hoverbike drone to test a new
Matter of fact, let me
quad
back it up a
capacity
bit.
of a motorcycle to create the world's first hoverbike. Developing a hoverbike is expensive and challenging, and we need your support to make this a reality. The hoverbike flies like a helicopter, however it is rugged and easy to use. It represents a whole new way to fly.
Can you imagine riding one of
We
those guys?
created a 1/3 scale hoverbike drone to test a new quad aerodynamic concept. Our drone will allow you to see and feel just how it will be to fly the full-scale hoverbike, and will help with raising the funds needed to bring the hoverbike to market. We have moved to a proven quadcopter design, and this is what our second-generation hoverbike looks like. Drones should be friendly and approachable. Our drone has ducts around the propellers that protect bystanders from the blade tips and allows us to safely operate near the vehicle.
What'd you think of that?
That's amazing.
Well, again, think of all the engineering, all the business, all the dynamics you have to go into that. Here we go, another one. A lot for your bike. Big deal, right?
At Fuse Designs, we thought the lock industry could use a little shaking up, so we created Noki, the world's first Bluetooth padlock. The Noki padlock has won numerous awards and has been recognized as a game-changing innovation. However, some people need an extra level of protection, so we created the Noki U-Lock. Incorporating all the cutting-edge technology used in the original Noki into a practically indestructible hardened steel body, the Noki U-Lock will protect your bicycle or motorbike in the toughest environments while also giving you easy access using only your smartphone. Available with an app for iOS, Android, and Windows phones, the Noki U-Lock uses wireless Bluetooth technology. When clicked, it automatically looks for a phone with a compatible key and unlocks. You don't even need to remove your phone from your pocket or purse. Just click and go. The days of worrying about lost keys or forgotten combinations are gone forever. No need to carry bulky wads of keys just to go for a ride. Sharing couldn't be easier. With just a couple taps, you can quickly and securely share your bike with your friends. Whether you want to allow one-time access or scheduled access, the Noki app makes it effortless. Even better, you can revoke access automatically without needing to track down keys. The Noki U-Lock incorporates a long-life rechargeable battery that will last several years between charges. But we wanted the Noki U-Lock to do even more, so we added an alarm. That's right. The Noki U-Lock allows you to activate an optional alarm that incorporates an accelerometer to detect unwanted tampering. So how does it work? After locking Noki, hold down the button to arm the alarm function. If somebody shakes your Noki for more than 3 seconds, a very loud alarm will shriek for 60 seconds, drawing attention and likely scaring off the intruder. If he sticks around and tries again, it will activate again. What if your phone dies or is lost? With Noki, it's no problem. Just key in the custom quick click code you created when you set up Noki. This safe and secure unlocking method ensures you'll never be left stranded. In the unlikely event that you ignore the warning in the app and let your battery die, you can always give Noki a jump start with an external battery so you can unlock it via the app or quick click code. Finally, maybe you don't have a smartphone or prefer to bike without it. We've got you covered. Just add the optional key fob to your order and you'll be able to access Noki with or without your smartphone. At Fuse, design is our passion, so we wanted to be sure your Noki U-Lock looked as great as it functions. We've been told it's the most attractive U-Lock around, and we think you'll agree.
Now, isn't that crazy how we're now morphing, and I'll stop sharing for a second, we'll come back, but isn't that crazy how we're starting to share or to integrate the web, the phone with current things that we wouldn't normally have thought of?
Right. That, well, you and I have a Prius, and we can start our car.
Right, we just walk in and push the button.
Just walk in, and in fact, the door unlocks when we get close.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And so they've taken that, with NAN. There's a lot of bright people out there.
But wait, there's more.
All right, Ron Popeil, tell me.
Okay, let's go after some more here, and here we go.
Allow me to introduce you to the Lucid Brake, the Anywhere brake light. Lucid Brake just presses on to whatever you're riding or driving, and it's ready to go. There's no on-off switch, and it will wake up again when whatever it's attached to moves again. Not available in stores just yet, only on the internet. We're currently taking pre-orders for this amazing safety device. Look here as 3 different Lucid Brakes go off simultaneously. One on the bike, one on the backpack, and one on the helmet. Lucid Brake has a clear waterproof coating to protect the circuitry and battery clips that won't corrode even if they get wet. Lucid Brake is made to be completely waterproof, even on watercraft. Imagine the first ever boat brake light. Pretty cool, huh? We wanted to keep the unit as lightweight as possible, as the professional racing cyclists requested. We also didn't want the use to be exclusively to bicycles, so we took the plastic off the back, making it flat so that a Lucid Brake could be mounted anywhere, like on a bicycle helmet, or a bumper, or a ladder. We did, however, design an optional top cover which makes it look more sleek. Check around the Lucid Brake website for what else we have envisioned for this top cover. Get 10 or more and have your logo put directly on the Lucid Brake cover itself. Bike clubs, corporate sponsors, riding patrols, club-sponsored safety events, Lucid Brake can show you care. We wanted Lucid Brake to be seen from as far away as possible. Our tests have clearly shown Lucid Brake can be seen from over a quarter of a mile away during the day and half a mile away at night. Since over 1/2 of all the bicycle accidents involve children under the age of 15, we wanted them to be more visible. Mounting a Lucid Brake on the helmet of a child will make them all that more visible in the neighborhoods, between cars, and on local streets. Lucid Brake even has 2 different kinds of braking. If you have to stop fast, there's an emergency braking mode to alert others that you had to stop quickly. We use strong dual-lock fasteners so that they can be mounted on anything. These fasteners are the same ones that hold up siding on houses. They're very durable and weather-resistant. Here we've attached it to the end of a ladder on a long load, and it works great. Imagine it on wheelchairs or scooters or boats. The possibilities are endless. Here we've mounted it on a sign just to show you that it can truly go on anything. Watch the sign flipper demonstrate that Lucid Brake doesn't go off when it's bouncing or swaying. It just goes off when braking. Lucid Brake's main goal is to make the world a safer place. Please share this with all the people that you...
Now, isn't that crazy too? It's not high technology, but it certainly is interesting technology that they started from a garage.
Well, Peter, the thing that hits me, you got a emergency brake light and you got a lock, which aren't the most exciting items in the world, and the thought process that went into designing both of those things, down to a bike lock's appearance, is I think that's a lesson for anybody in business. Is you have to have a really thorough thought process of how you're going to. If you got a product, design it, take it to market.
Oops, you dropped out there, Dick. You dropped out there. Take it to market. What?
Just a thought process from a small business point of view is, you have a product or service. You just can't walk out the door and say, okay, here I am, world. Neither one of those items are very glamorous, but just to look at the bike lock appearance. I never would have thought of that in a million years. But, as you know, Peter, the DAV's involved with a couple of the local bike races here, and we man stations for brakes for them. And we come in and then we'll hold the bikes up for these guys. Some of these bikes are $4,000 or $5,000. And these people are so into the bike world, I guess it made sense that, they want a bike lock that's going to look good. I'm just impressed with the detail that went into bringing those 2 products to market.
Well, I think it goes back to your lesson on vision and company and integrity and path, leadership, and all of these have to do that. Frank, you want to weigh in on this before we go back for some more?
Yeah, but what, like, it was a combination of engineering, which obviously took a lot of it, but then it was the aesthetic beauty of it. How does it look? You know,
Talking about the U-lock, the no lock, no key.
The no key, even that, it was sleek. It was sleek and slick. And that light thing, I'm thinking of how many times we drive at night and you say, oh wow, there's a walker.
Right.
In the community I live in, there's a lot of seniors who walk their dogs at night. And if they're not wearing white or light colored clothing, I don't see them at night. And this would be ideal for them.
Yeah, I don't know if it would work on a person, but it would seem like it would.
Well, it would work on the back of a helmet.
Yeah, well, that's when it's by an accelerometer. So when you come to a stop, it ought to. Well, that's a good question for him. We ought to send that to him.
Yeah. Okay. No.
All right. Here's some more. But wait, there's more. Showing a regular bicycle, you know, obviously urban. Too clean, by the way, but from a biker here, I used to bike a lot. He's setting the speed that he doesn't want to exceed.
Hi Kickstarter, my name is Niko Klanšek and I'm a founder of FlyKly. I have a passion for bicycles and technologies for many years now. After introducing the first line of electric bicycles in the United States, we got a lot of ideas how to make an electric bicycles more simple and accessible. We decided to turn ordinary bike into a smart bike. And after working closely with a team, we have a working prototype ready earlier this year.
FlyKly Smart Wheel is an all-in-one design pedal assist. That means it has the motor, the battery, and all the electronics inside the rear wheel. It's a pedal assist because the motor turns on when you start pedaling and it makes the riding effortless. This way, you can always dress for the destination, not for the ride, and never worry about sweating. You simply control the Smart Wheel with your smartphone by setting up the top speed on your FlyKly app. With speeds up to 20 miles per hour, it takes you as far as 30 miles. Not only does it help you climb the steep hills, but it also recharges itself when you're riding downhill. You can also plug it in a wall socket and fully recharge it in just 2 to 3 hours. When you leave your bike behind you, you can simply lock it with a touch of a button on the app. And in case it still gets stolen, the app sends you a short message saying your bike is moving without you, and even lets you track your bike with GPS. Included with the Smart Wheel is our Smart Light. That's not only a light, but also a phone holder and a charger, so your phone will never run out of battery again. A sticky pad and additional safety straps on the Smart Light tightly and securely hold your smartphone in place. Because it's smart, Smart Wheel learns your cycling habits and routines and uses this knowledge to suggest faster, safer, and more fun routes to take. You can even create your own favorite routes and share them with your friends. The FlyKly app constantly monitors the Smart Wheel's components and functionality. In case anything happens to go wrong, we're already a step ahead at suggesting a solution. This way, we can offer you the quickest and most efficient support. All of the electronic components are firmly installed on the motor itself and encased in a robust housing. A separate housing holds the battery, and the two combine to make the whole package that is neatly fitted onto the spokes of a wheel frame with an easy-to-mount axis going through it. Smart Wheel is designed to fit on any bicycle frame. It also comes in...
Now, isn't that crazy, guys?
Mm-hmm.
the combination of technology applied to a standard bicycle, and in this case a commuter bike that allows you to go up to 30 miles on a single charge.
The best line in that whole thing, and I'm still thinking about it, is that you dress for your destination, not for the journey.
For the journey, you know, I used to commute on my bike, and I had to go up and down hills, and of course you're just going to sweat. And so when you get to where you're going, hopefully there's a shower. That's always been one of the problems, you know, but this thing will assist you. And I mean, the application of this technology, just the bikes alone, and the next thing is a bike as well, crazy stuff. Dick, do you want to weigh in before we get to that?
No, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Last one of this stuff. Here we go.
Rat Racer is the world's first highway speed and highway safe bike vehicle. It's a human electric hybrid bike that goes as fast as a car. When you pedal, you go highway speed.
Hi, I'm Scotty Olson. I'm the proud inventor of rollerblades, the roll bike, and Skyride. I know what it's like trying to get something new on the market. The Rat Racer, it's for fitness, it's for recreation, transportation. So let's get on board and let's make this thing happen.
I'm a biker and a bike commuter, and I wanted to commute in something safer and faster and protected from the elements while still being really fun. I wanted there to be no more excuses for me not getting my exercise and reducing my carbon footprint. So I invented the Rat Racer. No more weather, no more sharing a busy road with bigger and faster vehicles, no more trying to carry your briefcase and lunch on your back. The Rat has a roll cage frame and composite body just like a race car, and lights, seat belts, and an airbag just like a regular car. The Rat is safer than a motorcycle or a bicycle on a busy street. But that's not even the best part. The Rat Racer is an ultra high-speed pedal boosting amplifier. It boosts or amplifies your pedaling input to car speed. And all the while, your pedal power is being converted into electricity to extend your range and charge the battery. The Rat is also versatile. You never have to pedal if you don't want to. You can just stop pedaling and use the throttle. You plug it into a common household outlet, and it's recharged by lunch. Plus, the Rat can run workout programs. You could be driving the flatlands of North Dakota, but pedaling the hills of San Francisco, even while stuck in traffic. I was fortunate to receive a grant from the state of Minnesota to build the first prototype. Now we need to design and build our model for production. As you might expect, making a new kind of car is pretty complicated and expensive. I'm not as smart as Cradicus Potts or Doc Brown to be able to do it myself, so I need to reach out to other people for help, and that's where you come in. To get this done, we have to go from a community of about half a dozen or so people to a community of thousands of people. Your help is as important as any of the engineers, designers, artists, or anybody else that's worked on it.
What do you think of that, guys?
Wow. So that's so it's an electric three-wheel car.
Yeah, but with the top speed is 60 miles an hour.
Right, I did see that, which kind of scares me.
Me too. But nonetheless, I think you can ruggedize it. It comes with an airbag, comes with all that stuff. But oh my gosh, you know.
No, it's obviously mind-boggling invention, but I don't know. They can ruggedize that a lot, but with a big trailer runs you over.
Well, they say that a lot about the first electric hybrids too, because they were aerodynamic and small, and they said that about the Volkswagen Beetle even.
Yeah, but this is a lot smaller. This is like one of those
no different
soapbox derby size cars.
It's no different than the three-wheel motorcycles that are out there now.
Well, and I'm not said they were safe either.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that, and I think for specific applications, this might be a wonderful. You know, if you're going under 25 miles an hour, so to speak, you're in town or stuff like that.
Yeah, I for a local side road type of thing, it's probably very great. Plus, it's a good exercise thing too. They say so. Yeah.
Now, the interesting, well, the reason I'm showing this stuff is that I really want to just talk about the concept of all these inventions that are underway. And all these new businesses and all these things that people need expertise like us. They need somebody, bring it to market.
Yeah.
Frank?
Yeah, they do. They do. No, they need the technology, the sales, the marketing that we all bring to the table.
Well, it sounds like they're all pitching. It sounds like they're all pitching for funding. Was that like a GoFundMe site or something?
Right.
Like that?
All of these guys are typically, that's the cool part too. They're all using like an Indiegogo or FundMe or any of the ones.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we did a whole podcast or two of them on those funding sources, crowdsourced funding. And now with the new FCC rules in January, or SEC rules, when you're going to do these crowdfunding ones, you have to have a business plan, which is a good thing because it forces them into really thinking about their business and how everything fits together, It makes them a little bit more real than just a grab your rear end entrepreneur type person,
Right, absolutely.
Frank, you want to weigh in on that?
No, I forgot the visual of grabbing your rear end. I got to get that out of my head.
Well, that's the statement, hold on to your butt, So there we go. So, all right. Next up on the deck is Twitter. Twitter has decided now to do shadow banning of politically inconvenient users, conservatives. So here is Twitter saying that conservative posts are going to be on a blacklist which will not be shown or in search for search results, will be hidden. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
They specifically point out conservatives?
Yes. Prioritize certain sources inside the company spoke to Breitbart that they're going to be planning shadow banning politically inconvenient users, as they call them. And these basically are conservative individuals. Matter of fact, and of course, I guess anybody else from that standpoint. But what it comes down to is basically censorship.
Yeah.
Something fascists do. Americans don't do this. This isn't the right answer. And interesting enough, and of course now Facebook is now banning if two people, they're going to be watching everything you say. If two people want to organize a sale of a handgun, through the appropriate legal channels, they're going to take your account off Facebook altogether.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So Twitter isn't targeting spammers. For weeks, users have been reporting the tweets from populist conservatives, see right here, right? Mm-hmm. Members of an ultra-right, cultural libertarians, or other anti-PC dissidents have disappeared from their timelines. There you go. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Now, who would ever think the FCC would stick up for us? Would you believe the government would stick up for us?
Yeah.
And on this case, this guy Paia, I guess that's how you pay. Anyway, he thinks the expression is the free expression and respect discourse are all slipping away, and on college campuses and Twitter are prime examples, according to the FCC Commission. And it says here, largely what we're seeing is, especially on college campuses, if that my view is not in the majority and I don't agree with your view, then I have the right to shout you down, disrupt your events, and otherwise suppress your ability to get your voice heard. And he even announced out, Twitter announced last week establishing a trust and safety panel to police speech on their site. Is this getting out of hand or what?
No, I heard they were doing this for anti-terrorism, but now they've taken it way beyond what I thought they were just going to do.
Right. They're using their social platform politics to screen out anybody that disagrees with them.
Well, how to lose 40% of your users?
Well, how to turn America into fascism in one easy stroke. Now, here's the next thing, business-wise. I mean, you guys want to stop and talk about this, or should we keep going a little bit?
Give them as little publicity as possible, as far as I'm concerned.
Next one. hackers are trying to steal our tax refunds again. Just recently, in the big package, Obama package that was passed for our budget, in there allows the federal government, the IRS as a matter of fact, to call you, okay, on your telephone to get you to pay your IRS bill legally. In the past, last year, anybody that calls you from the IRS and asks you to send them a check, do a credit card, Western Union, those were all frauds. And by some education, you would understand that the federal government, IRS, will never call you on a phone. They'll send you a certified letter. But now, we don't know. Think that out, okay? And so, and of course, PIN numbers have been stolen at the IRS, so there's obviously a lot of effort going on to really help the the scammers out, okay? And on the heels of that, we're going to watch there's a Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center. I've been telling everybody this for a long time, pays hackers $17,000 in ransom. And so we will go, let's see, I think I gotta stop sharing this a second, and then I want to go share our media player here. Okay.
Strange story out of Los Angeles where a hospital has paid a ransom to hackers that apparently were holding its computer network hostage. Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center says it paid 40 bitcoins, or about $17,000, when it fell victim to what's commonly called ransomware. Bitcoin is an online currency that is very hard to trace. The hospital's CEO called it the most efficient way to end the problem. Neither law enforcement nor the hospital gave any indication of who might be behind this attack.
Now, let's weigh in on that. What do you think of that, Dick? And we've been saying, matter of fact, one of the computer repair stores here, I've been trying for how many years, Dick? 2 or 3 now, to get them to get into looking at hospitals and the getting in there. And like we reported last week, I think it did anyway, that I listened to a podcast that said they did an independent review of hospitals. They found MRI machines still on Windows 95 operating systems. Easy to hack. And not even supported by Microsoft anymore. What are they doing?
It's this whole hacking and identity theft is just getting past the epidemic stage. I mean, you have to assume that your information isn't safe. You know, you can do a lot of different things. You can change your passwords. You can do everything you want. But your information is not safe. That's the bottom line. You don't have security. And I won't go into a commercial, but all I can say is you should, some way or another, get something like ID Shield or LifeLock or whatever you float your boat there. But you need something to tell you that you've been ripped off. That's as simple as that, because the government can't stop it. The ironic part is the FBI can't get into an iPhone, but the hacker can get into anything they want to get into. It's mind-boggling, and it's only going to get worse.
We need to hire the hackers is basically what we have to do with the CIA and the FBI. And they do have a group that does that. There's a thing called Black Hat. Have you guys know about Black Hat?
No.
There's a conference every year at Black Hat where all current hackers get together, and they as soon as they get to the conference, there's a challenge for them to hack into something that's sitting there remotely. So they all start hacking on this thing, and I know the government is there to recruit. They watch and see who's who and try to recruit people, which is a good idea. That we ought to be able to recruit them and pay them for their hacking talents and point it towards Iran.
I think they should hire the Apple software designer, myself.
Well, that came up there today too. That with the federal government's capability of money and purchasing, they should be able to lucratively pull them out of there.
Yeah.
To set up these things. Yeah. Same thing on the Google side, and set up the ability to do that.
I didn't realize that with this code I punched in for my iPhone, it was that secure. I was listening. Rush Limbaugh was going through. If you're wrong, the first 2 or 3 times you can do it within 5 seconds, but If you miss it like 6 seconds, then it's an hour, and if it's after 8 minutes, eight attempts, it's 24 hours. So I guess that random, code that the FBI is trying, it just isn't quick enough to do it. It's amazing.
Yes. Frank, you want to weigh in on that?
No, again, we love the mobility and we love the
connectivity.
Yeah, that's it, connectivity. But again, you're vulnerable because you're going through the space, and like that hospital, and they couldn't get into anything on their computers. They were locked out of their own IT center.
Yeah, it's called ransomware.
$1,000 to get in to their own IT center. That's amazing.
Yeah, and by the way, that's happening to individuals 100 times or so a day, where if you click on the wrong link, you got to pay $500 to get your computer back.
And we see those at the computer repair store all the time.
Right. And the other thing I was thinking, and I don't know, is okay, you paid your 17 grand, you got it back, but what information did they steal while they had control of your computer?
Exactly.
All these patients' records, all this information, they must have all that.
They had one woman and man came in, and I was sitting in the back, and she starts this story about how they thought they had signed in on AOL, where it was a screen that looked like AOL, and they signed in, and all of a sudden they noticed their documents and pictures being sent someplace. And then an AOL tech comes on and says, you got a problem with your machine. I can send you to the tech department to fix it. Yes, it'll cost you $568 to do that. That happened, and then they couldn't fix it, and it went to another one for $700, and went to a third party for another amount. They paid $1,500 on credit cards, and they finally said that unless you pay us $5,000, you're not going to get anything back.
Yeah.
And so they unplugged the machine in the middle of this whole thing and brought it to the store, and I couldn't believe it. And so basically they had taken their pictures and deleted them. So you don't get any of your family pictures back. And they said at this point they don't care. So we burned the machine down, but we went to their house, and they had spyware to take over the machine again, put in their router. So we had to completely replace the router and their printer and their computer to get them back online. And we said the good news is you paid by credit card, so they immediately called their credit card company and canceled that purchase, right? Before anything could be said and done. Yeah. But in the case like with this hospital, they paid in Bitcoins, which is of course electronic money that you can cash out for real money. So pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
Yes. Well, okay, so wrapping up mine, boy, we're all over the map there, but businesses beware clearly. Lots of cool inventions. I'll have more of these that we didn't even know exist next week. And look at the bloom of entrepreneurialism in America. Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
Globally.
Well, that's true too, but I was speaking more on our side.
Hey, music. That's that sound.
You're going to hear the train in the background too. So you're going to railroad right on.
There you go. Time for this week's twin. This week in the news, business lessons we get from people who are making news. This week's twin is, hey, Jen Rosenbaum. Thank you for the small business lesson. And the question always is,
who the heck is Jen Rosenbaum?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, Jen lives in Queens, New York, with her husband and 2 children. In 2008, a little over 8 years ago, Jen was a stay-at-home mom, struggling with infertility issues, and really questioning herself as a woman and as a mom. She just didn't do well. So she bought a camera to take some pictures of her young daughter. She had one daughter at the time at play. It was a therapy. And through her camera, Jen was able to heal herself, and see beauty in the world again by taking pictures of her daughter, the most important person in her life. So Jen became very good at photography. So she says, I'm going to start a business. So she became a wedding photographer. It was fun. And she was very good at it. As you'll see, she has a creative mind. But you know what? There were hundreds and hundreds of wedding photographers in New York City. So Jen's jobs were few, and the money was not that great. Then one day, a female photographer friend of hers invited Jen to accompany her to what's called a boudoir photo shoot. That's where you go to a woman's home and you shoot the women in their bedroom wearing negligees, not naked, just wearing negligees. And Jen went, because she was a friend, and Jen was hooked because this type of photography allowed her to express her creative side. She says, wow, there's a lot of stuff I can do with this. So Jen decided to become a boudoir photographer specialist and offer boudoir shoots in her bedroom. Well, she told her family and friends of her breakthrough idea, and you can imagine their response. This is stupid. If they're not models, who the heck wants a picture of themselves half naked? It is dangerous to invite strangers into your home and even into your bedroom. What are you, nuts? Do anything else? Get a job at Starbucks? They just went all over and over. But Jen says, I ignore you, and I'm going to follow my instinct. Also, Jen being a marketer at heart, this was in 2009, there were only a handful of photographers in New York City that specialized in boudoir photography, her friend being one.
Back in 2008, I picked up a camera for the first time. I was a mom of one, and I had a little bit of free time on my hands when she was in school, so I taught myself how to take pictures. I'm completely self-taught. Shortly after, I discovered boudoir photography, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I said to my husband one day, I know what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be a boudoir photographer. And about 48 hours later, I started my business in my bedroom, actually. Boudoir photography, in my perception, is an opportunity for women to explore their sensuality, their intimacy, their femininity through an experience that's really amazing, through dressing up and putting on makeup and having a great time, sort of stepping out of their comfort zone. What I found over the years is I'm really trying to reach women that want to do this for themselves. It might also benefit as a gift for somebody else, but I want a woman that's invested in this process because I want to make a difference in women's lives. There's so many women that come to me with touching stories, breast cancer survivors, moms that just feel that they've just lost it all, women that are trying to save their marriages from divorce and trying to gain back their confidence in their marriage. And so these are the women that I'm looking to really make an impact with. I want to show them that they are beautiful, they are worthy, and that they can be a little fearless.
Oh, I love you. That's awesome. It's amazing. How cute is that? I love it.
When they come in for their actual shoot, we finalize what outfits they're going to wear, and we finalize their hair and makeup looks with the hair and makeup team. After that, we do the shoot, and I guide them through every step of the way. So I don't just say, hey, stand there and look sexy. I'm going to tell them what to do with their body. Posing is one of my specialties, so I know exactly how to position a woman to make her look amazing. Next time is point your toes up. Okay. Yeah. And I want you to tilt your head a little bit this way and just relax your mouth. And we'll go through all of that, and then about 2 weeks after that, she'll come back to see her photos. We'll pick her favorites, and we'll decide how she wants to purchase them. I hope that women get from this experience that they realize that they are beautiful. Every woman is beautiful. That every woman is beautiful in their own way, and maybe finding their particular beauty. And just knowing that they have a power that maybe they don't show every day, but that it lives inside them.
But she did have more well-known competitors, and Jen was a nobody in this business. So Jen used her creative genius and came up with this, I think, a brilliant marketing idea. She said, okay, who are my best prospects? Now, she has no clients. She said, I got it. So Jen put an ad on a wedding board and announced that she would offer a free boudoir shoot to newly engaged women on 2 conditions: that they promised to post a picture of her shoots on social media and comment what they felt, positive or negative, about Jen's shoots, about Jen's photo shoots. The buzz she created sent Jen's business into orbit. She got all this. She was doing free photo shoots, but she was getting all this free publicity, word of mouth. People went lauding, L-A-U-D-I-N-G, Jen's photo shoots, but it wasn't Jen saying it, was a client saying it. So Jen was soon working almost 7 days a week, shooting boudoir photos. She got so much business, she had to rent a studio to handle the increase in her business. Well, with the increased business comes a problem. Jen realized that she was working a lot of hours, missing a lot of time with her family. She now had 2 daughters, and she was not making the money she thought she was worth. So Jen raised her prices to a minimum of $1,000 per photo shoot, well, $999. She was so proud, she updated her website and her shopping cart and waited for the orders to come pouring in. And she waited, and she waited, and she waited, and nothing happened. Then Jen realized that she had just gone from 300 clients to 0 clients. Her business died. She was scared. She says, what am I going to do? But she said, I'm going to wait it out. She says, I'm worth at least $1,000 per photo shoot because I am that good. Eventually, clients came around and agreed to new prices. Today, Jen now selects the 50 clients per year that she wants to work with, as opposed to 300 clients. But that limited her revenue potential because Jen did not want to subcontract her photo shoots to other photographers. So she added a new revenue stream. Jen now teaches people how to do their own boudoir photo shoots, and she teaches other photographers the tricks of doing quality boudoir photo shoots and how to create her own business. This passive income stream now exceeds the revenue Jen makes from her own photo shoots. And Jen named her boudoir photo business Generations, with J-E-N, Generations.
Hey guys, I'm Jen Rosenbaum and I'm a boudoir photographer in New York City. I get asked over and over again for help with posing women in boudoir. Jen, how do you pose women that have curves? Jen, how do you pose a taller girl? So on and so forth. So I decided today to bring a whole team in. Hair, makeup, videography, and 3 different women that allowed me to shoot them and show you how I work with them. I'm really tired. It's been a long day, but it was so fun. And I can promise you, you're gonna learn the 8 points of posing. You're gonna learn how to communicate with clients so you can get them to pose without touching them. You're gonna learn how to relax them and get good facial expressions and just have a good time with them. You're gonna see how some of the models go from being a little bit stiffer to totally opening up and having a lot of fun with me. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to hearing your feedback, and let's make everybody beautiful.
Well, it is now 2015, 2016. And you know what? Jen is back to having hundreds and hundreds of businesses offering boudoir photo shoots at discount prices. Another problem. She was getting price commoditized. So Jen says, well, how do I stand out from my competitors? Again, I believe Jen is a marketing genius. As Jen states, she is not just a photographer. She says she calls herself a photo therapist. What she was doing all these years was not about the photos. The photos were very good and her clients were happy, but what her clients walked away with after a session with Jen was a lot more than just a pretty picture. They walked away with more confidence and a fearlessness of how pretty they really were. Remember, now these aren't cover girls. These are everyday women. Okay? Being with Jen, her clients have an experience. First of all, they're in a safe place, her studio, and they get to define and celebrate their own personal, unique femininity and beauty. Jen brings in a professional makeup artist, a professional hairstylist, and a water expert. Again, and I've seen photos that she's done. And these people dress up these women to reveal their real selves. Something that proves to each woman that she is more than meets the eye that she is whoever she wants to be, and she can own that woman shamelessly. And many times, women leave and own that woman in the real world too. And by the way, while each client is going through this transformation, Jen is taking pictures while all this happens. And Jen realizes it wasn't about the photos. It was about their experience. And the photos are just a very special reminder of how that woman felt on that very special day when she realized how beautiful she was. Wow. Thank you, Jen Rosenbaum. So I took away 3 what I call very important small business lessons from Jen's story. Lesson number 1. Do not let the naysayers deter you if you believe you are right. Jen did not listen to a well-meaning family and friends that told her she was making a big mistake going into the boudoir photography business. It's something she wanted to do, and she knew she'd be good at it. Lesson number 2, charge what you believe you are worth. Jen knew she was doing a lot more than just photo shoots, and she stuck to her convictions even though the marketplace was slow to accept her new prices. They accept them now, and they pay her a lot more than $1,000 per photo shoot. And number 3, people don't pay you for what you do. People pay you for how you make them feel when you do what you do. Even though Jen has many competitors, Jen today is among the highest priced photographers, boudoir photographers in New York City, because of her ability to make her clients feel very, very special. And gentlemen, that's my twin for this week about Ms. Jen Rosenbaum.
Very nice. Actually, it was on her site looking at the pictures.
yeah. Again, now, obviously, to me, they're beautiful because I have 2 daughters. To me, every woman is beautiful. But these women, we don't know how they felt. Yeah, because I've seen a gallery, how they felt when they walked into Jen's photo shoot for the first time. But you can see in their eyes and in their expression, and if you can see in their mind, how they feel when they look at themselves. They have so much more to offer. So.
I've never heard of a boudoir photographer before.
Yeah, well, you're right. Neither did I.
One of my wives did that, and it was amazing. And during the divorce, I had to give the book back. Damn it!
There you go.
But you're right. There is truly a transformation. I think that she's captured. You know.
Yeah. She again, and this comes back to John Taffer. You know, the bar rescue. People not buying Coronas. They're buying for the experience of having a beer at your location. Make them feel special. Make them feel good. I was watching, listening to some radio guy yesterday when I was driving around, and he said, people don't remember what you say, but they remember how you made them feel.
Right.
And wow. And Jen took that to the nth degree, which is why she can charge a minimum of $1,000 per photo shoot.
And I always say, well, you know, the purchasing equation is people buy for emotion backed up by logic.
Right.
And she's a persona of this one, you know.
Yeah.
The how it's going to make you feel is the emotional piece of all of that. And is it a good value? You bet, you know.
Well, Peter, the stuff that you do, how did Doug and Annalisa feel?
Yes, well, they're probably my greatest,
right.
Dead, but, you know, Annalisa is probably my greatest fan. You know, it kind of goes back to one of the conversations you had with your MLM people is, you know, it's once you win somebody over and you do it naturally, they're your greatest spokesman, you know.
Isn't that amazing? And Dick, I still remember the garage door story you told me 2 years ago. Yeah. How did you feel when you had that card in your pocket and you could make that one call?
I mean, it gives you the feeling of entitlement that you have the ability to get yourself protected legally.
Yeah, I think it's an empowerment too, Dick.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, Peter. Right. Empowerment. Yeah.
And
no, I saved the best for last.
Okay.
Peter, you're not selling a Defender because it's a Defender. You're selling Defender because it gives me the confidence that I have that thing in my pocket. And I think when people know they have that confidence and they're walking some street,
absolutely,
the bad guy's going to say, I'm not sure I want to mess with that guy.
Right.
He has a confidence. So you are selling confidence with that Defender thing.
I agree, and I talk about that quite often. It's not the Defender. It's the actual ability to have the confidence to think that you might be able to survive a violent attack.
Yeah.
And that confidence comes, I can have a fighting chance. I don't have to be a victim. I have a chance. And that's what makes them, that's what makes them act a certain way. And the predators, they always go after the low-hanging fruit. And if you have confidence, you're not low-hanging fruit anymore.
Right.
So as I was putting this thing together this week, I thought of the Defender. That was foremost on my mind.
Right. Well, I'll have to revisit that, but I do talk about that quite often.
Perfect.
And it it's a good counsel to maybe make that more a centerpiece of what goes on, and not so much as an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of my testimonials is I thought I was going to get mugged, you know, and this guy pulled the Defender out. They didn't know what it was, and they ran away. But he hadn't even looked at the video and how to use it. He just pulled it out. And because he didn't know what it was, suddenly he wasn't low-hanging fruit anymore, you know. But he had the confidence to pull it out and stand his ground, you know. And you're right. So
very good.
Thank you for that. Okay, Dick, you've got some networking lessons.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about network marketing. You know, the last couple weeks I talked about the leadership role, and last week I talked about the industry itself. And I was, you know, thinking about the process of myself going through this, going from you know, corporate America to 5-6 years of retirement to getting back in the business world, and the process I used to join Legal Shield. You know, I at the time I was looking to start a home-based business. I wanted a home-based business because I was a snowbird going back and forth between Connecticut and Palm Desert. And so I knew I need flexibility as far as where I was able to perform my functions. So I did some research on network marketing. And so, you know, with thousands of network marketing companies out there, you know, how do you pick the one that you want, you know, that fits you? And I went through a thought process even before I started looking at specific companies. I eliminated anything to do with cosmetics because I didn't feel I'd be a good representative for that. I eliminated pretty much anything that had to do with weight loss because I didn't feel comfortable with people say, hey, you need to lose some weight when I need to lose weight myself. So I took those out of the equation. And then I started looking at companies that were more suited to my type of experience, which was sales and marketing. And one of the things that you have to do is you have to look at a company and don't get caught up in their marketing hype, but understand how these companies do business. And you know, some of these things I did, and some of these things I wish I had done because it would have saved me some startup delays. So I looked at the companies, how they go to market, what kind of marketing tools they had, what's available to help me get familiar with the company. So I think you really need to research a company from top to bottom, and you want to look at how long have they been in business. You know, a lot of times you hear, hey, come with me and begin on the ground floor, but you have to remember that 90% of the businesses that start up this year will be out of business in 5 years. So you want to make sure that you're not hooking up with just because it's a ground floor opportunity, you're hooking up with somebody that won't be around in 2 or 3 years. So you have to educate yourself on the company. And I did do that with Legal Shield. I spent a lot of time researching them, Googling them, and seeing what the company is about. I checked they had great ratings with the Better Business Bureau and a couple other ranking agencies. They've been in business for 40 years. You know, I looked at the online, the reviews, and you get, anytime you do that, you're going to get good and bad. But I kind of could try to filter between what's sour grapes and what's not, and found that most people that were associated had the product, liked it, it worked well. I felt it fit with my experience of dealing with people on a little more professional level. And that's where I analyze the product. Would I be comfortable representing these people and going out and telling people that they should become members of Legal Shield or they should become associates and all? And I spent a lot of time on that because that meant a lot to me. Is my integrity and my reputation is utmost has been for my whole business career my number one thing. I want to make sure that people recognize me as honest and trustworthy. And with any network marketing company, you got to make your list of 100 friends and family and all these other things. You know, so I felt if I'm going to be talking to family members and friends about this, I have to be able to stand behind it and say, yeah, it's a great product. And as usual, I talk to the family members, and they think I was nuts, and half of them listen to me, and and it goes into Frank's program. But what do you do then, Coach? That kind of thing. So I did that, and I felt that Legal Shield was a great product for me. Now, maybe it's not a great product for everybody to try and start your business on, but research whatever company you are. If you're in the cosmetics, Mary Kay is a great company. There's a lot of great companies out there, but make sure you understand what the company does, what the product is, how reliable it is, and how does it fit your personality. The thing that I didn't do was I didn't examine the compensation plan. So when I started out, I did not understand how I could. I knew how I could make money, but I didn't understand how I could grow and make more money. And I didn't have a great person that signed me up, so I was really kind of in the dark. So people I set up now, before they even start, I say, okay, here's how you make money. Here's what you got to do the first day, the first week, the first 20 days, and then how you advance through and grow your business. Very important part, because it's not easy work, and if you don't get the advice, and I didn't, for the first 60 days, I didn't do a damn thing. That's the most important part of starting your business, that first 60 days. And this may sound a little egotistical. A lesser person would have given up, but I don't have give up in me. So then I sat down and said, okay, I'm doing something wrong here, and I realized I didn't know a damn thing about the company I was with. So I started going to meetings and meeting people and stuff that are Legal Shield people. I learned it, and then I slowly started building my business, which was a little bit harder. So I think examining the compensation plan so you understand it. How do you make money? How do you grow? And are you any limits to making money, and all these types of things? Okay. Another area is the training and support. Training and support. That's an area that because I didn't sign up with a person that supported me, I did not understand how to get the training and the support that I had, and that set me back. So those last two areas I didn't do a good job on. The first 3 areas I think I did a pretty good job on. The last two I did a horrible job on, so it set me back. And I think if you're looking into a company, sit down and talk. Don't talk with a person that's trying to have you come into his downline and work on him. Ask to talk to 3 or 4 of the people in his downline. Make sure you talk to more than just the one person that is trying to get you to sign up, because you're going to run into people like the guy I did. I was a fish. I knew I wanted to join Legal Shield, and I didn't do my due diligence, and he just reeled me in, got his commission, and said sayonara. I never heard from him again. So talk to 2 or 3 other people in the downline. Ask to talk to people in his upline. And my upline, the top guy's named Brian Carruthers. I call him with questions. I have people call him. He's right there. He answers them. He's very available. That's important for your assimilation into the company. So those are important. And make sure you with a group that's active and involved. Because unlike a lot of the industries, the people the Legal Shield associates in Coachella Valley, we get together and we talk, and we have meetings and we help each other out. And it's a supportive support group for you when you need help. So make sure you get to know you're in an area where it's active, the people are active, they're supportive, and the whole thing. So I guess in summary, I think pick a company that you feel good about, that you feel like, hey, I can absolutely do well with this. I like the product. It suits my personality. check out the people above and below the person that's trying to get you to sign up for them. Like, do your homework, just make sure you examine, talk to a lot of people. Just don't talk to the person that's trying to get you to join up. When I'm signing people up, I always offer to have them talk to anybody you want. So give your names, call them. And, but the bottom line is, if you've done your homework, you got to use your gut feeling. Just do what you think is right. And then when you do, just, put your head down and, get your butt to work. That's as simple as that. So that's it.
Frank, you want to jump in and give a little update of what you're doing? And I think Dick, I'm trying to get around to something that he's going to say that you're going to use, or you used.
Yeah, I'm giving my next lesson tonight to my Canadian and my Australian clients tonight, as a matter of fact. This is next to the last lesson I'm going to be giving in this series with these people. And this is after someone's expressed interest, how do you get them to join? And currently they have and by this, they're a very good company, and I'm giving an alternative way of doing what they're doing. Not that it's better, it's just a different way to do it. They have such, and you mentioned this earlier, just a little while ago, Dick, they have such a detailed presentation on the compensation plan, okay? And I've seen a number of because they're worldwide, a number of YouTube videos from people all over Europe giving this presentation. And it takes 34 minutes. And not that I'm going to join, but I'm trying to learn so I can present an alternative. They presented so many numbers, I got confused. All confused prospects do the same thing. Okay. They delay. They say, "Oh, I'll think about it," because they're right. That's sales 101, because they're confused. So tonight I'm giving them the scenario is you meet someone who's interested in your business. Instead of taking 35 minutes, I'm going to show them how to do the presentation in under 7 minutes on the back of a napkin.
Yeah.
At a Starbucks.
Just to jump in, Frank, we have a similar thing. The whole presentation is about 30-something minutes. The compensation part is probably about 5 minutes, but you're right, it's a lot of numbers. I can tell a prospect in about 30 seconds what the first 20 days has to do. And it has nothing about numbers.
There you go.
Nothing about numbers. So.
Right, and to what Peter said a little while ago, they were going for the logical reason of the conversation. I said, they're not there emotionally yet. You've got to get them because once they're there emotionally, they'll find a reason to sign up.
Right.
Yep.
But they've got to be there emotionally first. Right. They'll find the logic to justify their emotional decision.
Yep. People buy for emotion first.
There you go.
Logic second. You go see that car. Oh, I love the car. How it'll make me feel, and all my friends are going to be looking at me, turn heads. Oh, but wait a second, is it a good deal? Do I get a good warranty and all that kind of stuff? That's
right.
When I was working in sales management, the number one thing I would tell the salespeople that worked for me was, make the buyer want to give you the order, and he will find a way to give it to you.
Absolutely.
If he doesn't want to give it to you, he'll find a way not to give it to you. So make the person want to do business with you. Find out how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Dick, you used some stuff that you watched some of Frank's stuff, and you used it.
I've been using it. Frank, talks about never be rejected again, and talk to the person that wants to talk to you. And I'm a big believer in that. And I was at a mixer this weekend. I probably spoke to 7 or 8 people, and there's like 3 or 4 people standing around. They're all passing off business cards and all. I just stand there and watch, and invariably some will not even ask me what I do, and I figure they're not even remotely interested. And some will say, "What do you do?" and I'll tell them, and they'll say, "Oh, that's nice. I've heard that." And then someone will ask you, "What do you do?" and you tell them, say, ask another question. So they're engaged. And Friday, last Tuesday, rather, I probably talked to 7 or 8 people. I met a bunch of people, talked 7 or 8 of them, and then one lady was very interested, and we sat down and we talked for 20 minutes about her. A little bit about Legal Shield. I got her cards. I know she's a artist, she's this, she's that. You know, I probably spent about 5 minutes out of 20 with Legal Shield. And I said, do I have your permission to give you a call? And also she wants her employer to know about it. So she did call on Friday, so I'm going to call on Friday. But, you know, it's what Frank talks about absolutely does work. And there's one other thing I do that that at least I find works for me is I don't work the room as far as moving around the room and trying to meet people. I usually try to find a seat somewhere close by the big group, but not in it. And I sit down and I wait for people to come sit down because invariably their feet are going to get tired. They're going to get tired of the group. And I don't want to just jump in the middle of 7 or 8 people, try to be one more guy to hand out a card to talk about my business. So I stay in close proximity to most of those rooms you're going to find there's groups of people. So I try to find a fairly decent group and I try to find a seat close by them. And invariably someone will come over, and more than likely 2 or 3 people come over and we sit and talk, sometimes about legal, sometimes not. So yeah, I think that whole process is very valuable and works well, Frank. So
you don't want to be a Ned Ryerson?
No. Yeah, it's funny.
Ned Ryerson award going on here.
Yeah, you sit there and just watch people. All they do is, hi, my name is so-so, here's my card. It's comical. And in fact, this lady we were talking about that we met before was doing the same thing. I'm a counselor, but I said, you know, she didn't listen to me 2 years ago. She said, that's right. Keep doing it, you know?
That's right.
And you just see people, that's all they do. And they measure a successful night. They handed out 20 cards. I measure a successful night is, did I get someone interested? No. Well, at least I was there, and, you know, I go home and have a drink. Simple as that, you know?
There you go.
Yeah.
I now remember that person, Dick, when you spoke, when we weren't on camera.
Yeah.
And I remember that person now.
Yeah.
It was at the golf resort.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Not just, just dawned on me.
Yeah.
But that's
so, so I'm a big believer in that style. I think it works. It requires patience. It requires, like you mentioned in your video, you can't come across desperate. You almost have to be, not that you don't care, but very nonchalant. Hey, I'm just here to meet people and have a drink.
It happened to me yesterday. I was up visiting Senator Joe, and he's got a very brash gentleman down with him, and I've met him before, and he's like in your face brash, not PC, or you can almost hate him. And he was sitting outside, and we were just talking for a few seconds, and he says, well, how are you doing? I said, oh, some months I do better than other months, you know, it's just like any other thing. And he goes, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, basically I make people a lot of money on the web. That's all I said, Frank.
Yeah.
And he goes, really? Why don't you do that for yourself? And I said, oh, but I do. But I said, you know, I'm kind of like the cobbler's kids have no shoes. You know, I do it for other people. And, you know, I said, do you ever remember seeing the guy that spin the plates up on the sticks? He goes, yeah. He's 73, so clearly he'd seen that. And I said, I'm that guy. I have to run around and do this for other people, and I got to run back and do it to myself. And he goes, well, what do you do? Isn't that perfect? I said, well, let me tell you a story. And I told him the story. So he happened to come down last night with Senator Joe, and we were watching the CNN GOP thing. And, of course, he wanted to watch it, but then he wanted to talk. And I said, what do you want to do, watch this or talk? You can't. So I shut it off. And he said something. I said, if either one of you guys had a smartphone, I said, watch this. I pick up my phone and say, okay, Google, I gave this guy's name and where he's from, and up comes all his stuff. He goes, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I said, but wait, there's more. And I said, look at this. You didn't even claim your place in Google Maps. And I said, if I was your competitor, I'd claim that. And I'd go over to your 411 sites and claim Yelp and put in bad stuff about you, and you're never going to get rid of that. He goes, really? Well, I'm not on any of those sites. I said, but wait, there's more. And I walked him over to the computer, and I did a Google search, and we spent the next 30 minutes looking at all the stuff that has been scraped and put on the web with his name. Now, you know what he asked me to do? Stop by this afternoon, and let's talk about fixing all of that.
Yeah.
What do you think? And I said, well, I'm busy today. I'll try to make time later.
Yeah.
And so
you are the prize.
So my challenge is, this guy has got the reputation of being so cheap that doesn't buy anything. So my challenge is going to be, what do I want to sell them on and how I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Frank? Coach?
If you give him free stuff, you'll always expect free stuff.
I'm not fixing it for free.
Good for you.
I just want to go back to my philosophy of not of sitting out of the main action. Is because I sit and I watch people and they're like buzzards circling, and it's my feeling that other people are watching other people circling and almost want to avoid that person. And I'm like a safe zone. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm just sitting there. Sometimes I sit there by myself 10, 15 minutes, look around, check my phone and stuff. So I think people will look at me as, well, this guy doesn't seem to be hawking anything, so maybe I'll go sit with him. And like I say, invariably it happens.
I think the important part of that puzzle too is you get to know them. Don't say anything about yourself.
Right.
And once you get to know them, you can actually position, when they ask, you can position your product right into their world.
Yeah. No, this lady the other night, I found out, she's from Waltham, Mass, by the way, Frank. And
okay.
Nice Boston accent. She's divorced. Her husband died. I know more about her life than she knows about Legal Shield.
Is she good looking, Dick?
Well, I won't comment on television.
All right, fair enough. But, I think it's really important. I mean, just like listening to these guys last night, they don't think they're on the web. Let's go see.
Au contraire.
Au contraire, that's right. Au contraire. And the scary part is they didn't know what the new digital world could do to their business to ruin them. And this guy's in the securities, a financial world, right? And you know how regulated they are?
Yeah.
That's what somebody could do to his reputation that you would never erase.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, we made it through without Dick's internet getting cut off.
The Verizon guy hasn't come yet, so I'm
good. I was worried. We had a time limit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else?
That's it.
Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Good night, Dick.